The Meridian flagship Eternal Dawn emerged from hyperspace at the edge of Earth's solar system, its crystalline hull refracting starlight in mesmerizing patterns. Admiral Thorne, a towering figure with iridescent scales and eyes that held the wisdom of centuries, stood at the command center, studying the blue planet that rotated innocently before them. "Primitive," Lieutenant Vex remarked, her tentacles flowing with bioluminescent patterns of anticipation. "Their most advanced vehicles still use chemical propulsion. This will be an easy acquisition for the Empire." Admiral Thorne remained silent, his ancient eyes narrowing as he reviewed the preliminary scans. Something about this species troubled him. In 3,000 years of expanding the Meridian Empire across the galaxy, he had never seen a civilization progress from discovering electricity to reaching their moon in mere decades. "Send the diplomatic envoy," he commanded finally. "Let's follow protocol." The Empire always offered species a chance to submit peacefully before conquest. It made the subsequent resource extraction more efficient. On Earth, Dr. Sarah Chen stood in the United Earth Defense Council chamber, surrounded by holographic displays showing the approaching alien vessel. As humanity's foremost expert in xenotechnology, she had spent the last 15 years preparing for this moment. The aliens wouldn't find the primitive civilization they expected. "They're sending a shuttle," announced General Marcus Rodriguez, his weathered face illuminated by the tactical displays. "Diplomatic protocols, just as we predicted." Sarah nodded, adjusting her neural interface disguised as a simple earpiece. "Remember, everyone, we play their game. Let them think they found another easy conquest." The Meridian delegation arrived with all the pomp and ceremony befitting an advanced civilization. Ambassador Lyra, her crystalline form catching the light dramatically, strode into the UN chamber as if she already owned it. Her translator matrix hummed to life, converting her harmonic speech into human languages. "People of Earth," she began, her voice resonating with artificial warmth. "The Meridian Empire extends its hand in friendship. We offer you advancement, protection, and a place among the stars. All we ask is your complete submission to imperial authority and access to your planet's resources." Sarah watched the alien delegation carefully, her augmented vision scanning their technology, while her hidden quantum computers decoded their encryption protocols. Everything about their behavior confirmed their intelligence reports. The Meridians were conquerors masquerading as benefactors. "We are honored by your offer," Sarah responded, playing her role perfectly. "But surely a great civilization such as yours understands that we need time to consider such a momentous decision." Ambassador Lyra's crystalline features shifted in what might have been amusement. "Of course, you have one standard rotation of your planet to decide. Choose wisely." The threat beneath the courtesy was clear. As the alien delegation departed, General Rodriguez turned to Sarah. "How long before they realize their scans aren't penetrating our quantum shielding?" "They won't," Sarah smiled, her fingers dancing across a holographic interface only she could see. "The deflection systems are working perfectly. They're seeing exactly what we want them to see. A primitive civilization barely worth their attention." In orbit, Admiral Thorne reviewed the diplomatic report with growing unease. Something about the humans' behavior didn't match their technological level. They should have been awed, frightened, or at least impressed by the Empire's show of power. Instead, they seemed prepared. "Begin the invasion countdown," he ordered. "The moment their deadline expires, we implement standard conquest protocols." On Earth, Sarah Chen stood at her real command center, deep within a quantum-shielded facility beneath the Antarctic ice. Around her, the most advanced technology humanity had ever developed hummed with power. The aliens would learn too late that humanity had been preparing for this moment for generations. "They think they're hunting us," she murmured, watching the alien fleet positioning itself for attack. "They don't realize they're the ones being hunted." As the Earth continued its peaceful rotation below the alien armada, both sides prepared for a confrontation that would change the galaxy forever. The Meridians readied their conquest protocols, confident in their superiority. Meanwhile, Humanity quietly activated defense systems that would redefine the very nature of warfare. The game of deception was about to end, and with it, the Meridian Empire's misconceptions about human capability would shatter like their crystalline ships against the full force of Earth's true power. The deadline expired with the rising of Earth's sun. Admiral Thorne watched from the bridge of the Eternal Dawn as his fleet moved into attack formation, their crystalline ships creating a deadly constellation around the planet. "Launch the first wave," he commanded. Standard orbital bombardment pattern. The Meridian ships released thousands of plasma torpedoes, each capable of devastating a small continent. They streaked toward Earth's atmosphere in brilliant arcs of destructive energy. Admiral Thorne allowed himself a moment of satisfaction. Another primitive world would soon join the Empire's collection. But something impossible happened. The torpedoes never reached their targets. Instead, they seemed to simply cease existing about 100 kilometers above Earth's surface. No explosions, no debris, no energy discharge. They vanished as if they had never been. "Report," Thorne demanded, his scales shifting to a darker hue of agitation. Lieutenant Vex's tentacles writhed in confusion as she studied her instruments. "Unknown, Admiral. Our sensors show nothing. As if there's a void in space itself." Deep beneath the Antarctic ice, Dr. Sarah Chen watched the attack dissolve against Earth's quantum defense grid with grim satisfaction. "Initiate Phase 2, she ordered. Across the planet, hidden installations activated. What appeared to be ordinary mountains, office buildings, and ocean surfaces shimmered and transformed. The quantum camouflage that had hidden Earth's true technological level for decades began to fail, deliberately. In orbit, the Meridian fleet watched in growing horror as their scans suddenly showed thousands of advanced defense platforms emerging from nowhere. The primitive civilization they had come to conquer had teeth, and they were bared. "Impossible," Admiral Thorne whispered, his ancient eyes wide with disbelief. "Their technology, it's beyond even our theoretical models." The human response came not as weapons fire, but as a transmission. Sarah Chen's hologram appeared on the bridge of every Meridian vessel simultaneously, bypassing their most sophisticated security protocols as if they were child's locks. "Admiral Thorne," she said calmly, "I believe it's time we had an honest conversation about humanity's place in the galaxy." The Admiral's pride warred with his tactical instincts. "You deceived us." "We learned from the best," Sarah replied. "We've been watching the Meridian Empire for longer than you imagine. Every species you've conquered, every civilization you've stripped of resources, we studied your methods. And we prepared." Around the planet, massive structures rose from the oceans, their surfaces rippling with energy fields that defied Meridian understanding. Satellites that had appeared primitive suddenly revealed themselves as weapons platforms centuries ahead of Imperial technology. "Your stealth systems," Thorne realized, "they're not just defensive. You've been hiding your entire civilization's advancement." "Quantum camouflage," Sarah confirmed. "We showed you exactly what you expected to see. A primitive species ready for conquest. Reality is somewhat different." Lieutenant Vex's instruments suddenly screamed warnings. "Admiral, I'm detecting energy signatures. They're surrounding us in some kind of quantum matrix." Earth's true defense grid activated fully, enveloping the Meridian fleet in a web of intersecting energy fields. Their most advanced sensors couldn't penetrate it, their weapons couldn't affect it, and their fastest ships couldn't escape it. "We developed this technology not just to defend ourselves," Sarah explained, "but to contain threats without destruction. Your ships and crews are unharmed, but you're not going anywhere until we complete our demonstration." Admiral Thorne, veteran of 1,000 conquests, felt something he hadn't experienced in centuries. Fear. What demonstration? Of why the Meridian Empire, why any empire, should think very carefully before threatening Earth. Sarah's hologram smiled. "You see, what we've revealed so far is just our defensive capability. Would you like to see what happens when humanity decides to strike back? The quantum matrix around the Meridian fleet pulsed with new energy, and Admiral Thorne watched in growing horror as his ship's most basic systems began responding to human commands. They hadn't just been contained, they'd been completely compromised. "Consider this a friendly warning," Sarah said. "Earth is not a target for conquest. We are not a resource to be harvested. We are humanity, and we've spent generations preparing to defend not just ourselves, but any species that faces imperial aggression." As if to emphasize her point, the quantum matrix shifted, creating a window to normal space. Through it, Admiral Thorne could see more human ships emerging from stealth, their designs unlike anything in Imperial records. They moved with an impossible grace, manipulating space-time itself. The game of predator and prey had changed dramatically. The Meridian Empire had come expecting to find sheep, only to discover they had walked into a wolf's den. And these wolves had teeth that could tear reality itself. Admiral Thorne's worst nightmare materialized before his eyes as Earth's counter-offensive began. The human ships moved like living things, their quantum drives bending space in ways that violated everything he understood about physics. They didn't just fly through space, they rewrote it. Multiple breaches detected throughout the fleet. Lieutenant Vex reported, her bioluminescence pulsing with panic. They're inside our ships. Human strike teams had quantum shifted directly through the Meridian vessel's hull plating, bypassing every defense system the Empire had developed over millennia. They moved with practiced precision, wearing combat suits that seemed to phase between dimensions. On the bridge of the Eternal Dawn, a human materialized out of thin air. Captain Maya Rodriguez, her quantum combat suit rippling with dark energy, approached Admiral Thorne with purposeful strides. "Your encryption protocols have been compromised," she stated matter-of-factly. "Your weapons are offline. Your engines are under our control. In 5 minutes, we'll have full access to your entire military database." Thorne's scales shifted to the deep purple of rage. "This is impossible. No species could advance this quickly. You had help." "No help," Maya corrected him. "Just human ingenuity and a powerful motivation. Survival. We've known about aliens since the 1940s. Every crashed ship, every intercepted transmission, every piece of advanced technology we could find. We studied them all. In secret. Across the Meridian fleet, more human strike teams appeared. They moved with the confidence of those who had trained for this moment for years, disabling weapons systems and securing critical areas with minimal casualties. In the Antarctic Command Center, Dr. Sarah Chen monitored the operation's progress. "Phase 3 initiating," she announced. "Deploying the logic bomb." The logic bomb wasn't a weapon of physical destruction. Instead, it was a quantum-encrypted viral code that began spreading through the Meridian fleet's neural networks. Every piece of Imperial technology had been designed to be incomprehensible to lesser species. But humanity had turned that arrogance into a weakness. "What are you doing to our systems?" Thorne demanded, watching as displays throughout his ship began showing impossible data. "We're teaching them to think differently," Maya explained. "Your technology is based on crystalline quantum computing. Impressive, but it has a fundamental flaw. It can't adapt beyond its original programming. Human computers are messier, more creative. We make mistakes, we learn from them, we evolve." The logic bomb continued its work, infecting every system it touched with human unpredictability. Imperial ships began responding to human commands, their rigid programming overwhelmed by algorithms that thought outside any box the Meridians had built. Lieutenant Vex watched in horror as their most advanced battleships powered down one by one. "Admiral, we've lost contact with the entire fleet. Our auxiliary ships, they're responding to human commands." Deep in space, beyond the quantum matrix containing the main fleet, the Meridian's reinforcement armada emerged from hyperspace. They arrived expecting to join a conquest. Instead, they found their advanced fleet helpless, contained within a field of energy that defied Imperial science. Sarah's voice echoed through every ship in both fleets. To all Meridian forces, your technology is now under Earth's control. Your weapons are disabled. Your communications to the Empire have been blocked. You have two choices: stand down and accept our terms, or witness the full extent of human military capability. To demonstrate her point, a single human vessel approached the reinforcement fleet. It was smaller than the Imperial ships, its hull gleaming with a metal that seemed to drink in light. As the Meridians watched, it released what appeared to be a small probe. The probe split into thousands of identical copies, each carrying a quantum core programmed with human innovation. They swarmed through the reinforcement fleet, penetrating shields that had withstood antimatter weapons, bypassing defenses that could stop asteroids. Within minutes, the entire reinforcement fleet went dark, their systems overwhelmed by human ingenuity. When they reactivated, they too were under Earth's control. Admiral Thorne, watching this display of technological superiority, finally understood the true scope of his error. The Empire hadn't found another primitive species to conquer. They had awakened a sleeping giant, one that had spent generations preparing for this very moment. "Now," Maya said, her voice carrying the weight of humanity's determination, "shall we discuss the terms of your surrender? And more importantly, how you're going to help us protect other civilizations from Imperial aggression." The age of Meridian expansion was over. A new power had emerged in the galaxy, not through conquest, but through innovation, preparation, and the uniquely human ability to turn adversity into advantage. The Meridian Empire's High Command received Admiral Thorne's surrender transmission with disbelief. Supreme Commander Vix, her crystalline form pulsing with rage, immediately ordered the deployment of the Empire's ultimate weapon, the reality shifter, a massive station capable of altering the fundamental forces of spacetime. "If these humans think they can challenge us," she declared to her assembled generals, "let them face the full might of 10,000 years of Imperial science." But Earth had anticipated this response. Dr. Sarah Chen stood in the Quantum Command Center, surrounded by holographic displays showing the approaching Imperial Armada. The reality shifter hung at its center like an artificial star, its crystalline surface refracting the light of distant suns. "They've taken the bait," she announced to the United Earth Defense Council, initiating Project Nexus. Beneath the surface of every major celestial body in the solar system, hidden quantum generators awakened. These weren't mere power sources, they were nodes in humanity's greatest technological achievement. Each one had been carefully positioned over decades, disguised as natural geological formations or asteroid mining operations. Captain Maya Rodriguez, now aboard Earth's flagship Quantum Dawn, coordinated with the planetary defense grid. "All nodes reporting ready," she confirmed. "The quantum web is charging." The Imperial Armada emerged from hyperspace in waves, tens of thousands of ships strong. The reality shifter powered up, its energy readings breaking every scale on human instruments. This was the Empire's trump card, a weapon that could rewrite the laws of physics within its area of effect. Supreme Commander Vix's transmission reached every human communication device simultaneously. "Primitive species, witness true power. Your quantum tricks are impressive, but they operate within the bounds of natural law." The reality shifter recognizes no such limitations. Sarah's response was calm, almost amused. "Commander, did you ever wonder why we let you detect our quantum technology? Why we showed you exactly how advanced we've become?" The reality shifter fired, its beam distorting space itself as it reached toward Earth. But instead of devastating the planet, something extraordinary happened. The beam caught in a web of intersecting quantum fields, its energy spreading through an invisible network that spanned the entire solar system. "Project Nexus isn't a weapon," Sarah explained as the Imperial forces watched in shock. "It's a symphony. Every quantum node, every defense platform, every piece of technology we revealed, they're all instruments playing in perfect harmony." The quantum web illuminated, revealing its true nature, It wasn't just a defensive shield or a weapons platform. It was a vast quantum computer, using the entire solar system as its processing matrix. The reality shifter's power, instead of destroying Earth, was being absorbed, analyzed, and repurposed in real time. Impossible. Vix screamed as her ultimate weapon's energy was turned back on her fleet. No species could comprehend, let alone control, such forces. That's where you're wrong. Maya transmitted from the quantum dawn. Humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology. It's our ability to see patterns, to find connections where others see chaos. We turned our entire solar system into a learning machine. The quantum web pulsed with absorbed energy, each node adding its processing power to the whole. The reality shifter's beam became part of Earth's defense network, its reality-altering capabilities now under human control. Sarah's voice carried a note of finality. Your weapon operates by changing the fundamental constants of space-time. But we've spent decades studying those constants, learning how to adapt to their changes. Every attempt you made to scan our defenses taught us more about your technology. Every weapon you developed showed us new possibilities. The Imperial Armada found itself trapped in a quantum field that mirrored their own weapons' effects. Their ships, designed to operate under normal physics, began to fail as reality itself responded to human commands. Here's the real difference between us, Sarah continued. You built the reality shifter to impose your will on the universe. We built Project Nexus to understand it, to work with it, to become part of the cosmic dance of quantum possibilities. The Imperial ships hung helpless in space as their greatest weapon became their undoing. The quantum web had not just defended against their attack, it had evolved beyond it, turning the Empire's mastery of reality against itself. Supreme Commander Vix watched her mighty armada reduced to powerless hulks by forces she couldn't begin to comprehend. The reality shifter, pride of Imperial science, now responded only to human commands, its vast power integrated into Earth's solar system-spanning quantum computer. Humanity had not just won a battle. They had demonstrated a fundamentally different approach to technological advancement, one built on understanding and adaptation rather than dominance and control. The galaxy would never be the same. 1 month after the defeat of the Imperial Armada, representatives from 100 alien civilizations gathered in Earth's orbit. They came in ships of every conceivable design, drawn by news of the impossible. The fall of the Meridian Empire's greatest fleet to a species that had achieved spaceflight less than a century ago. The gathering took place aboard humanity's newest creation, a massive space station that served as a physical demonstration of their quantum technology. Its walls shifted like liquid mercury, its very structure a celebration of human innovation. The station existed simultaneously in multiple quantum states, yet remained perfectly stable. Dr. Sarah Chen stood before the assembled delegates, her presence broadcasted across thousands of worlds. Behind her, the captured reality shifter hung in space, now repurposed as a monument to the dangers of technological arrogance. We did not invite you here to boast of our victory, she began, her voice translated into hundreds of alien languages. We invited you here to share a warning and a promise. The station's quantum field projected images of Earth's history, from the first cave paintings to the modern day. It showed humanity's struggles, their failures, their relentless drive to improve and adapt. The Meridian Empire made a fundamental mistake, Sarah continued. They saw our apparent primitive state as weakness. They mistook our careful preparation for technological backwardness. But most importantly, they failed to understand what makes humanity unique. Captain Maya Rodriguez stepped forward, still wearing her quantum combat suit. We are not special because of our technology. We are special because we never stop questioning, never stop improving, never accept limitations placed upon us by others. The quantum field showed new images of human scientists working alongside former Imperial researchers, of Earth's technology being shared with worlds devastated by Imperial conquest, of new alliances forming between previously isolated species. Supreme Commander Vix, now a prisoner of war, was brought forward. Her once proud crystalline form seemed diminished, but her voice carried clearly. I am here to testify to the truth of their words. We thought we were the pinnacle of evolution, that our technology made us invincible. We were wrong. Humanity's greatest weapon was never our quantum web or our stealth technology, Sarah explained. It was our diversity of thought, our ability to look at problems from countless angles, our willingness to try the impossible simply because no one told us it couldn't be done. The station's walls rippled, revealing the vast quantum network that now protected not just Earth, but dozens of other worlds. This is our promise to the galaxy. We will defend those who cannot defend themselves. We will share our knowledge with those who seek to learn. We will stand against any force that believes might makes right. Maya activated a holographic display showing the former imperial territories. Already, we have begun dismantling the Empire's systems of oppression. We're not replacing their rule with our own. Instead, we're helping each world develop its own path forward, its own unique contribution to galactic civilization. But this is also our warning. Sarah's voice hardened. Earth will not tolerate the strong preying upon the weak. We will not stand idle while advanced civilizations exploit those they deem primitive. The age of empire is over. The quantum field showed one final image. Earth, seemingly defenseless, but surrounded by an invisible web of protection that extended throughout the solar system. To any who would follow in the Empire's footsteps, know this: humanity's greatest strength lies not in the weapons we possess, but in the weapons we have yet to imagine. Not in the technology we've revealed, but in the innovations we keep hidden. The assembled delegates sat in stunned silence as the implications became clear. Humanity had not just defeated the greatest military force in known space, they had fundamentally changed the balance of power in the galaxy. Go home, Sarah concluded. Tell your people what you've seen here. Tell them that Earth stands ready, ready to help those who seek friendship, ready to defend those who need protection, and ready to oppose any who would follow the Empire's path of conquest. As the delegates departed, carrying humanity's message to the far corners of the galaxy, Earth's quantum network continued its silent watch. The network grew stronger each day, learning, adapting, evolving, just like the species that had created it. The Meridian Empire's attempt to conquer Earth had instead unleashed something far more powerful, humanity's full potential, and the galaxy would never be quite the same again.